Welcome back. Today I want to talk about some games I've been playing this couple of weeks, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So first off, I actually played, well, not a lot, but more on my Vita than I usually do, even though I only have the Vita for like 3 months, but doesn't matter. And that's because I got some new, actually quite a lot of new games for it. And definitely the most played is Blazblue Continuum Shift to Extend. It doesn't matter how you want to say it. This game looks absolutely beautiful on the Vita screen, even better than on the PS3. It plays exactly like the PS3 version. And yeah, what can I say? It's just a port of the PS3 version, and it's on the handheld. And I play fighting games more on the handheld. Give a like. Give a like if you play fighting games more on your handheld than actually on your PS3 or Xbox, or doesn't matter which console you play on. Excellent, amazing game, and must have, of course, for fighting fans. Now, a new release is of course Resistance Burning Skies. I played it, completed it, and you know, I saw a lot of, well, I actually didn't saw, I just know, I did saw some of the review scores of the game, because on the forum someone was talking about, oh yeah, the game's being rated so bad. I was like, hey, what? I'm gonna check it out. And yeah, I saw like 4s and 5s and 3s. I was like, no way the game can be this bad. So I of course played it. I bought it for the full price. That's stupid, okay? Listen up. Don't be as dumb as me. Never, I mean freaking never, buy a Vita game for the full price of the 45 euros I paid for this game. 45 euros. Damn. But it doesn't matter, you know, I'm a geek nerd, PlayStation fan, so I got it. So that you guys don't have to get it. So okay, first up is the gameplay. It's a first-person shooter. It's, you know, the story is pretty much like the other Resistance games. There are some really cool thing though, is that there are, like, between the levels there are a cutscene in the exact same way as in Resistance 1. I thought that was absolutely amazing, much better than in Resistance 2 and Resistance 3 and the PSP version of Resistance, even though I didn't play it that much. So the cutscenes are actually the best thing about the game. The shooting itself, yes, it works. It plays almost exactly like on a console, you know. The Vita is, you know, finally you can play a shooting game on the go, on the handheld. Yes, you can do it. It works perfectly. No frame rate issues, no control issues. It works perfectly. But the thing is that the AI of this game is absolutely terrible, terrible, terrible. Of course, there are the AI itself, you know, is terrible, but also like the monsters you're fighting are exactly the same over and over and over and over again. There are like only 3 or 4 types of enemies. I think only 4 types of enemies. And I was like, yeah, and the other types of enemies that are more rare are actually enemies that you don't see, or even no one mentions it in the other Resistance games. So I was like, that took me out of the experience. And also the storyline. There are some storyline segments, there are some things in this story that no one mentions it in Resistance 2 and 3. And this game takes place after Resistance 1, but before Resistance 2. It marks the beginning of the invasion of America. So if you're a huge Resistance fan, like me, it may be a little bit enjoyable, because, you know, you're gonna see how, you know, the invasion starts and this and that. Even though in the storyline and in the characters, you know, the enemies, there are some things that, you know, you're thinking to yourself like, where the hell was it in Resistance 2 and 3? But it's still a little bit, it's an okay game. It's a meh okay. I would rate it a 6, around a 6. It started out with a 6.5, but at the end it's just a 6, because also the environments themselves, the whole time I was thinking, when is this game gonna start? when is the tutorial over? You're just playing in a village and then on a bridge and then in the sewer. So I was like all the time I was thinking, where are the big battles? Where is the war? But no war, no big battles. Maybe it's because on a small screen, but even Resistance 1, you know, that looks worse than this game, has big battles and interesting locations. This game does not. But overall, like I said, it's an okay game. A game that you have to get when it's like $10. Now on to some PS3 games. I actually did not play a lot of PS3. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, but I did get Azura's Wrath. And this is kind of hard to talk about because in my opinion it's a hybrid between Heavy Rain, how Heavy Rain plays, like the cutscenes are not actually cutscenes but more like interactive cutscenes where you have to press buttons, like a little bit like God of War sequences, and Dynasty Warriors, because yes, there is parts of the game where you actually take control of Azura and you can button mash other enemies in the style of Dynasty Warriors, and then you have to like a meter goes up and you can do a super amazing attack that definitely looks awesome, like throw away an enemy or punch you to his face and stuff. So that's truly cool, and the boss fights are definitely the thing in this game. Holy shit, like the first boss fight is like a giant dude. It's all in the Japanese lore style, and this dude is like bigger than the earth itself, and you're just bashing him with 6 arms, and you're like, he's kind of funny. It's like on all the trailers, like the big dude only puts out his finger against Azura, and he's like, you know, trying to hold off that finger. It's way too funny. It truly is a Japanese game, and I freaking love it. I love the art style. The visual style is absolutely fantastic. Maybe even the best this entire generation. I freaking love it. I have no idea what the Japanese developers are freaking doing. They should make games look like Azura's Wrath much more, because they can do it, as you can see in this game. So the thing is, again, a little bit like Resistance, I didn't pay full price. I paid 20 euros for it. So yeah, $20, 20 euros, $25 is definitely a really good price for this game, because it's a really enjoyable game. The storyline is fantastic, the characters are amazing, the visual style, the art style is absolutely outstanding. I do know that they're wanting to make it feel like an anime, so for every like 6 or 7 minutes there's like a credit screen, and then it's like the next episode, and to be honest, after 4 times it gets a little bit annoying. I was like, okay, you made your point, it's just getting a little bit annoying. But overall, it's an experience that no other game can give you. It's really weird, really weird. The other game, I've actually got a lot of questions about it, like, oh, klaudkil, you're gonna do an impression video, klaudkil, are you gonna do a review? klaudkil, what do you think about this game? Is of course Dragon's Dogma. Now, okay, this game is like Dark Souls meets Skyrim meets a typical Western normal RPG. The combat plays a little bit like Dark Souls, where you actually have to raise your shield, and when an enemy attacks your shield, you're gonna like draw back and stuff, and if the enemy is too big, you're gonna fall on the ground and this and that. But then comes the normal Western RPG system of, you know, grinding, leveling up, having strength and magic, and, you know, equipping your weapons and upgrading your weapons, and there's a shitload of weapons and armors, and there are dungeons and stuff that of course are not in Dark Souls, not in the way of that. And like Skyrim part is this giant open world, you can do whatever you want pretty much. After you beat the tutorial, you can go anywhere you want, even though you'll be killed in like one blow for those enemies, but you can still do it if you want to do. And when I first played it 10 hours, I was like freaking hyped. I was like, oh my god, okay, this is like the gameplay of Dark Souls meets Skyrim, and it's amazing. I can do whatever I want. I can upgrade my weapons. I can do a lot of quests, like Monster Hunter type of quest, and I can get like pawns from the online universe. I can pawns for my friends, and I can level them up. I was like so hyped for it. But after 10 hours and doing a couple of quests and walking back and forth, and every time you're walking the same area, you'll get the enemies will spawn at the exact same location, the exact same amount of enemies will spawn at that location every single time. Every time. So after 40 times running back and forth, and seeing that the wolves are always there, always fighting with wolves, and it's actually quite hard to like just run run from the wolves, and because they actually do go after you and stuff. And also there is no fast travel like in Skyrim. I definitely think that Capcom made a game that is in gameplay much better than Skyrim. There are some big boss fights, and they are one of the best boss fights you will ever see in a Western type of RPG. It makes the dragon fights of Skyrim absolutely to shame. You can attack them, but not only can you attack them like their tail and like their head, you can actually grab upon them like Shadow of the Colossus, and you can, with the griffin, you can fly with the griffin, and it's just freaking awesome when you're on the griffin himself and he's flying over the place and you're attacking him all the time, and then he like flies down and stuff. It is actually epic, an epic boss battle, something that Skyrim wanted it to be, but it's actually just failed utterly, because in Skyrim you only have to do like just attack, and that's freaking it. But the fast travel and the respawning of the same enemies over and over again at the exact same locations absolutely broke the fun I have after 20 hours. I was like, I'm absolutely done with it. I hope they're gonna know that this is a big problem, because I've actually seen it. A lot of people have the same problem, and they're gonna fix it with a fast travel system, exactly like Skyrim. That will be so much better than all those respawning enemies. It doesn't really matter that much, because you can just, fast travel a long distance instead of traveling it all the freaking time. And that broke Dragon's Dogma for me. I haven't played the game since then, and that's such a shame, because it has a good premises of a lot of games bind together and actually made it better. And the only thing that maybe will make me play this game is because of the boss battles and the equipment and the Dark Souls style of gameplay. But then again, we all know that Dark Souls 3 is coming, so maybe I'll just wait for that. Hopefully they will do some kind of patch for free, of course, that will include fast travel. So those are the things, the games I want to talk about with you today. Hopefully the video isn't really that long. Hopefully, definitely leave in the comments below what have you been playing, and on my impressions on my games. Have you played any of them? And what are your thoughts about the game? What are your thoughts about Resistance Burning Skies? Because I actually know a lot of people got the game. And what did you think about Dragon's Dogma? Am I right? Did no fast travel actually break the game, and respawning enemies at the same location break the game? For me it did, and I was really, I got the game full price, and I was so freaking hyped to play the game. I played it non-stop a long time, and at the end, no fast travel, too much respawning, broke it, destroyed it, and my fun was over with it. So I'll leave it in the comments below, and of course I will see you next time.